Hello, and welcome to Options Brew TV. I'm your host, Lex, and today's special guest is Rick Sadler. Rick has been trading for 34 years, full-time for the last 20 years. He is the founder of Hit and Run Candlesticks and the Road to Wealth Trading. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the show as well. He actively manages the Hit and Run trading room daily. I think you're going to find his approach direct and easy to follow, which is a great thing. Okay, and I'm going to talk a lot about that too. Rick uses price action, chart patterns, and trends to detect advantageous entry points and exits. So let's get Rick out here to have him explain this. This is really good stuff. Rick, come on, put that camera on and come say hi. He is.
Hey, Lex, how are you?
Good, buddy. How are you? Good to see you.
Real good, real good. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be great. So you and I have been pals for several years now. I think we met in Vegas. Was the first time?
No, we met at SIBO.
You're right. I apologize. Yeah, that was with someone else, and we met there at a little get together of platforms and ideas, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then subsequent to that, we were in Vegas. I do remember that. That was maybe the better venue. I don't know.
And we were in Vegas together, but we met first time in SIBO.
I remember. I do remember. No, that's great. So, everything going well?
Excellent.
Good.
Trading the last couple of days has been fantastic. Really good. Yeah.
Oh, I bet. And then, so you're coming to us from the Midwest, but Nebraska? No, that's not.
Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. Okay.
Springfield, Missouri. Yeah.
Good. So you weather good and everything. We're starting to get. I'm in the Chicagoland area, so we're starting to get the cold stuff here.
Yeah, it's cold, but no snow. Little sprinkles, but it's melting when it hits the ground.
Okay. Good. So your bio reads very well. You just told me pre-show that you had another career and then you morphed into this new career. What'd you do before trading? So just to prove to people that, hey, you know what? You don't have to be this trader guy to be a great trader like you are.
Yeah, well, let's go way back. I'm a mechanic, Dodge. I worked at a Dodge dealership for years, working on cars, just a wrench. And I opened my own shop up, and because of some OSHA issues and just getting out of hand, I ended up closing that down after about 10 years. And I went to work for another company selling nuts and bolts, shop supplies, things like that, just an outside salesperson.
Right.
And it was about, 34 years ago, I started doing a little trading, learning, and well, here I am today. So
yeah, great. And you're doing this is full time, as I said.
This is full time. I went full time. Actually, I went full time. About 8 years into it, I kind of practiced full time, back and forth, and then finally went full time after after I connected a couple of dots.
And the light went on.
Yeah, well, the light went on. Yeah. Trading is like painting by numbers, and you may see what the painting is supposed to be on the box, but you until you get some numbers painted in there, then you really don't know what it's going to be. So
right. Oh, that's good. Well, listen, the story is a good one, no doubt. I'm happy for you, and you've been a great friend through this whole time. This has been excellent. So let's do this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your room and your business, the Hit and Run Candlesticks, and then the Road to Wealth. I think I might have misspoke. I think that is something different than I said, but I'll let you explain it. Give us a little of that, and let's go into some examples so the folks can see what is it you do and how you do it.
Okay. Hit and Run Candlesticks is the name of the company. We focus on trend, price action, chart patterns, candlesticks, support and resistance. We actually, I can say that we just do not use any indicators other than moving averages. Don't use just any other indicators. Just relying on that price action. We have a trading room. We run a trading room all day long. And the Road to Wealth account, the road to it's an account is what it is. The truth of it is, I've never traded an option, not one option till December of 2017. Not one not one. In fact, I was an option hater, to tell you the truth. I mean, I would, get in a conversation with somebody and I would just, oh, options. You don't need options,
Right.
only because I didn't know anything about them. So
Yeah.
in December of 2017, I learned a little bit about options, and from my good friend Doug Campbell, that runs our options trading room.
Mhm.
And he said, Rick, because of your ability to pick direction, he said, really what you should start with is just directional, simple calls and puts.
Mhm.
And to this day, that's all I do.
Yeah.
So what I did is I opened up an account just for this in January. Well, I opened an account in December, but I didn't really start trading until January of 2018.
Okay.
We closed the account this June or July. I should say June or July.
So about a year and a half, roughly, would you say?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
The account, we opened it for $5,000,
Mhm.
and the account, at the height of the account, it went to $78,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
that blew me away.
Right.
So we ended up closing that account, and I opened another account in mid-August this year. And these accounts, I call them the road to wealth. It's, creating your wealth through trading. And all I do is options now, by the way. In the past year and a half here, I haven't even taken not one single stock trade.
Okay.
Strictly calls and puts, directional.
Right.
And so we opened up the new account this August, mid-August, for $10,000. And as of at this moment, right now, it's $23,642. So about 138, 139% so far.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. So just as a note, everyone thinks these kind of returns and this kind of success you have to have a lot of money to do this, and you did this purposefully to say, you know what, I want to do a small account. I want to use a small account to show the folks that this can be done with small bits of money, right? And I'm assuming you're going to tell me that you're disciplined, which I hope to hear, and there's some great things along with that. But man, that's great stuff, because not everyone has $1 million to throw in an account, right? 5,000 is a wonderful starting point. That's a great story.
Very true. And I want to go back and touch on something you said there. Trading is all about having rules. Nothing else means anything. It's all about the rules. Right. Everybody can learn what a candlestick is. Everybody can learn what a moving average is. You can look at a chart and tell if it's trending or not. It's either going up or it's going down, or maybe sideways. But without a good, solid set of rules and good technique, then really you're not going to get anywhere. So that is absolutely the most important thing there is. I'm really big
too, Rick. That's a great point. I'm glad to hear you.
That is, without that, you've got nothing. You absolutely have nothing. You have to have those. I hear people all the time come in the room, they'll buy a trial or something like that, and they will they don't follow the rules. All they want to know, like, give me a stock pick or something like that. Well, it doesn't matter. I can give you a stock. For instance, a DraftKings today. I just bought some DraftKings a little while ago,
right?
And I could make money in DraftKings, but you probably won't be able to. And the reason is it's those rules. When do you sell? Where's your stop? Because not every chart works out. Good Lord. I was asked the other day, do I have nothing but winning trades?
No chance.
I wish.
Right?
Yeah. No chance.
Yeah. That was like me in the trading days. I never lost. Not true.
Yeah. I have losing trades all the time.
Right.
The trick is to control the losses and control your gains.
Right.
So.
Right. That's awesome. Well, that's great. So do you want to show us a few things about this? We're going to circle back to how they can get into the room and where they go for all that. We put some of that in the chat now.
Okay.
Also, folks, there's a Q&A button down at the bottom of this webinar. So if you have a question, either throw it in the chat or throw it in the Q&A. We will get to the questions toward the end, or I'll work them in as we go if it's pertinent to what we're talking about. And yeah, let's do it. So I think you know how to share, right, Rick?
Yeah, I'm going to click that little green button
That
right
little green
there.
button. You might have to pick a screen if you got many of them.
Click on that. There we go. We should be up and running.
All right.
Does
I
that
love
work?
it. That looks good. I can see it. I think we're good.
Okay, cool.
All right, good.
Cool.
All right.
What do we want to talk
Well,
about, I guess? What
Well, let's see. You got DraftKings here. You're gonna show everyone how dumb I really am with graphs. So this is gonna be great, or charts. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best because this is not exactly my wheelhouse. But we're
Mhm.
gonna play together in the sandbox. So
Okay,
there's some
sounds
kind of
good.
pattern here that you brought this up for a reason. What's going on? What are we looking at besides a little V here?
Yeah. Well, let's come over here and let's take a look at this chart first with no lines on there.
Okay.
As like I said, we really don't use indicators.
Mhm.
I do use moving averages, so I guess that's an indicator.
Okay.
And let me just explain what these are here. This dotted blue line that might be hard for you to see.
Yeah, I'm
That's
going to draw for you, Rick, if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
See, can you see
All
that?
right.
So that's what he's
Uh,
talking about. There's a little dotted blue line. There's
Yep.
another one over here. See it over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the 50 period moving average.
Okay. And I'll just box that out up top so people can see that.
All right.
Good.
And then that orange line right in there, that's the 34 exponential.
Is that this one here? Am I doing that right?
Where are you?
I drew a line. See it?
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And that's
Yeah.
the, which one? I'm sorry.
The 34 exponential EMA.
That's that guy up in the corner. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. The black line, that's what we call the T line. And that is nothing more than the 8 exponential moving average. It's up at the top. It's called
Yep.
T line. Yeah.
Right. That's this guy. Okay.
Yeah. That line right there. That was one of the things that made me go from giving up trading, not making money, to making money. That is my bread and butter, right?
That's the T line you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, T line.
Any other explanation on the T line? Even though I don't give away secrets or anything, but my gosh.
No, we talk about the T line all the time. Years ago, I couldn't trade, and I was taught basically, to buy off the bottom down here, and that doesn't work out, by the way. In my opinion, that doesn't work out.
Okay.
So I had to develop a way to do that, and what I did after a long process was I came up with the 8 exponential moving average, to where what I would do is not buy here. Let's make that big. Not buy in this area, but wait till it breaks out of that black line and then pulls back to it.
Okay.
And this area right in here would be a buying area, just like that.
Okay. Is there any special significance to that pattern? And what I mean by that is you said, you're never going to pick a bottom, right? Catch a falling knife, as they say. But it did something here. Is this called something? Is there something going on there that that's a name for that little movement, or not really?
It's just setting up for an ABC pattern, a 1, 2, 3 pattern, a J hook continuation pattern.
Okay.
Here, I'll draw this in here too. So we rally up. I mean, that's, a continuation pattern right here. Okay. And the money in it is, say, maybe from down here, that run up like that. Okay. And that's, I'm a pretty short-term trader. I don't mean short-term like day trade. I don't day trade. Right. But what I do is I trade with goals. I'll have to explain that to you if we have time. Okay. And so I might hold the chart, let's say overnight. I might hold it for 3 weeks. It all depends if it reaches my goals. And once it reaches my goals, I start taking profits out. And again, that's something we can talk about. Okay. I do want to really quick mention these red dots here and these green dots right there. Okay, got them. I call this the trendicator. The trendicator. Did you make that up, or is that for real? Trendicator. Red and green dots. I think it's kind of made up. Yeah. Even better. It's kind of made up. And what that is, actually, it's nothing more than the 17 exponential moving average. That's all. Okay. Now, I tell traders all the time, you can use whatever moving average you want. That does not matter. What matters is you're trading encompasses all of that.
Right.
That's part of my trade plan. And um, we just figured out a way on this TC2000 on how to turn it into red dots or green dots. And I have a pretty strict rule is I never go long. I never go long when there's red dots. I only go long when there's green dots like this right here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
then what that does, it
Yep.
ensures a trend.
Right. Now, can you get faked out? Because here's why I'm asking, because I can see a couple green dots here, right? So
Yeah.
clearly that can happen, right? I'm
Yeah.
assuming. And then you have a methodology. If you do get in where my arrow is, there must be something that you're kind of looking at into the, as we move along here with price action that says, okay,
Yeah.
Uncle, I made a mistake, or maybe
Yeah.
not.
No, that is, and this is where let me look at, well, we can stay with this
That's fine. Yep.
chart right here. So DraftKings, this is something I do every night at the close, not at the night, but at the close of the market, about an hour before the close, I go through this with all the members in the trading room. And let's say DraftKings is one of our picks.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is, this is where it would get our attention right here. So what I'll do is I first decide where my stop is going to be.
I gotcha.
And I always go through the same routine. I think it's very important to go through a routine and stick with that routine. So based on this candle, now it's a different today. I'm just going to start here.
Okay.
But the everything would be a little different today. So we have a stop area here, and then what I do is I put what I call a buy box in there.
Okay.
Like this.
Got it. A buy box. I'm going to ask
A
you
buy
about
box.
Go ahead.
All that is a line that I draw, or a box that I draw, that says this is buyable in this area. That's all it is.
Okay.
And then we take profits on the way up.
Okay.
So just before we came on the air, I bought some DraftKings here, just right before we came on the air.
Okay.
And it started to break out of that buy box. So that's when I chose to buy it. I've been looking to get in it, but none of these candles here got me excited. And all of a sudden it really started showing some strength today. So I jumped into it. Now, what I will do is I will move that stop up as it moves up a little bit. And let's see here. Here we go. Yep. Right there.
Got it. Okay. Is there any magic to where that stop was before? Are you kind of looking at the lower area in these green dots to create that horizontal stop line that you first drew?
No, I use a 3-bar chart actually.
Okay.
I use a 3-bar chart, and from there I look at that 3-bar chart and I decide, well, why do I like this chart? And when you answer that question, then you should know immediately where would you not like this chart. Because if it started to go below where you liked it, so if it started to trade back down through here, well, obviously you wouldn't like that chart. I like it because it popped up here, it created some support. Candles weren't great, price action wasn't great, created that support. It got a little weak, but then all of a sudden the bulls started to take off. And that's what got us interested in it.
Okay. Let me ask a question from a viewer here. You refer to candles aren't great in this section. Any explanation? Sorry. Any explanation? What does that mean? Candles aren't great. Is that they're just not pronounced enough, or they're not? What's
they're not showing that the bulls are there.
Okay.
I mean, this chart, that's a great candle here, but this candle over here, it's like, where did all the buyers go? Looks to me like sellers stepped in.
Okay.
Then buyers stepped in. And then we just have, let me make that bigger. Then we just have a lot of noise in
sideways.
There. Yeah, just a lot of noise.
Got it.
I use this. This is one of my scanner windows over here. 2 of my scanner windows. But I use this to tell me when something is moving from one of our chart patterns. And DraftKings started to come up on it. Also, one of the members in the trading room alerted me of it as well. And then, we just, because it was in the buy box and coming out of the buy box, that's where we chose to buy it.
Got it. Got it.
And if you look at it, there's no real buying in here, but all of a sudden there is buying.
Mhm.
Another thing is another one of those little rules
Mhm.
that I have, more of a condition, is
Right.
rarely, and I mean very rarely, will I buy a negative candle.
Okay.
I will not do that.
What's a
I
okay, a
only
negative
want
candle meaning what? What does that mean? That
the close
Yep,
is lower than the open.
got it. Okay.
So in my case, I use black and white candles. I think a lot of other people use red and green. So
Okay.
in my case, it's black. Somebody else's case might be a red candle.
And okay.
But I very rarely buy that. I generally, and I mean like 99.99% of the time, I will buy bullish candles,
Got
which
it.
means a lot of times I pay a little higher
Mhm.
than some other folks.
Mhm.
But by doing that, the success rate also goes up.
Got it.
So
Makes sense. So you're looking for that confirmation then, right? There's just some kind of
exactly,
confirmation part in that for you, which in your world, that's how you define that. That's great.
exactly. I want that confirmation. Basically, what I want to do is I want the bulls to be out there buying it, and then I want to tuck myself right in behind them and trade with them.
Got it.
I don't want to be the first one out there.
Okay.
Think of it as a train.
Yep.
I don't want to be the engine, and I don't want to be the caboose. What I want to be is the coal car,
Right.
right behind the engine. Right behind the
It's a
engine.
great analogy. I love it. I love it. Yeah, the engine gets itself in trouble every once in a while, right?
Yes, it does.
A little harder.
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
great. So this is DraftKings. Okay, so we got in, whatever that point is, and I'm looking at, so that we got in somewhere here, right?
Right.
Okay. How do we get out of this thing? Is there a method yet to get out of this, or do you have a spot into the high future, or is it just the dollar and cents thing? How do you decide?
Well, let me explain that.
Yep.
One thing I want to look for is I want to see a path to profits. So where do I see a path to profits? We're going to come in here and we can clearly see there's a little bit of resistance right here.
Yep.
But I can also clearly see that this candle is pretty strong. So I'm probably not going to take profits right here. I can see that we have a little gap right up here that could get filled right in this area. And then I see the possibility of about $60 up here.
Okay.
Now, these are not lines for profit taking for me.
Mm-hmm.
What these are is just I can see the profit path.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just do this. There you go.
Okay.
I can see a profit path. That's all.
Got it.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell into strength. So I might sell some, or sell some,
Mm-hmm.
or I might even sell, probably all, maybe up here.
Mm-hmm.
So what constitutes me selling? All right, let me share this with you.
Sure.
We're going to talk about the road to wealth account now. And one of the things that makes it work is taking profits.
Mm-hmm.
So I have established in my little world that I want to double my money. That's simple.
Okay.
So we started this past August with $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to double it to $20,000 in 12 months.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
So there's approximately 243 days to trade. Everybody may have a little different number there, depending on how much vacation, sick time, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I figure there's approximately 243 days. When you do the math, all I've got to do is make $42 a day net. That's amazing.
That's right.
That blows people away. That blows me away when I say this, because that's all I have to do. That's all.
Right.
Well, what happens if you follow the techniques and you follow the rules, and you got to be strict with the rules. And by the way, you can't decide you're going to do this tomorrow and you're not going to make any money the next few days. In fact, I'd bet you don't make a nickel for the first 6 months, because trading is just not that simple. It's not a turnkey operation.
Right.
So you do your time, you learn what you're doing. This is what I'm doing.
Got it.
So what I did is I actually doubled it. Currently the account's at 23.6, right?
Mhm.
So what I decided to do, because we doubled that inside 3 months. So what I decided to do was I'm closing that account again,
Okay.
but I'm not closing the money out. I'm keeping the money. So what did we do? Let's get rid of, let's get rid of all this.
Mhm.
So we said, when we got to our $20,000, guess what I'm going to do?
Mhm.
I'm going to double it in 12 months. So let's go times 2
Yep.
in 12 months. So
Mhm.
I'm going to take my 243 days, the same
Mhm.
thing.
Yep.
And what that does is that gives me, I'm going to go say $85, but it's a
Sure.
little shy.
Yeah. Close enough.
I think it's a little less than that,
Yep.
but say $85.
Mhm.
So when the stock starts moving up, it's all about goals to me.
Mhm.
So if I have multiple contracts on, I might sell some of it. I sell some of it because I've made my goal. My goal is $85.
Yep.
Sometimes it's 85, sometimes it's 180, sometimes it's $300.
Mhm. Got it.
As it moves up, I'll sell more. It's got nothing to do with those lines right there.
Okay.
Those
So
lines just show
you're
me that.
yep, sorry. You have this calculation and you're exiting a little bit on the calculation, and you also have a pretty good idea of what's going on here with your analysis,
Right,
right?
right. You've got to be able to see the path to profits. You've got to be able to say, okay, this seems logical that it can fill this gap right here.
Yep.
If it doesn't, then it turns out to be a losing trade, or
Okay.
you certainly don't make hardly any money on it.
Okay. So here's a question, a viewer question about it's pertinent to this point. So let's ask it. The question's this, and I'll just kind of summarize it. You said there's a possibility you take a profit right in there, right? Of some,
Right.
let's say you have 5 contracts on, you take something off.
Right.
Do you move your stop up on the remainder so that you can't
Yes.
lose? Is that a part of the plan? Is kind of the
Yes.
best way to say this.
Yes. As the price moves up, you want to raise that stop up. Oh,
Okay.
and that's another thing too. This is something we share with our members, by the way.
Mhm.
Whenever we buy, I always post, for instance, this is what I posted to our members, and it goes to a app.
Okay.
It goes right to their smartphone if they're a member.
Yep.
I wrote DKNG, February calls, 45 strike,
Mhm.
stop, $50.45.
Okay.
So that was the initial buy. As the price moves up, we'll move that stop up. And as I move that stop up, when I make an adjustment, I will send out another alert that
Mhm.
might say DKNG adjusting stop to, and then I'll say the
Got
price.
Okay, so
Yeah.
members of Hit and Run Candlesticks get that
Right.
information with their
Yeah.
membership, where you are
Yeah.
putting your stops, your entries,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and they can choose if they so choose to do
Yeah. Now, and let me point this out too. Let me
that. Mhm.
mention this. This is not any intention. I'm not giving anybody trades. I'm not, you know, this is meant for education.
Sure.
And what I'm doing is I'm just trading my real live account, but I'm hoping everybody takes it as education.
Good.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not a licensed broker, so I
Yeah.
can't, recommend anything. We don't recommend anything.
Right.
I'm just sharing what we do in real time.
Mhm.
And
So
that's,
yeah,
I think, good education for somebody.
100%. Yeah. Now, do you in the room, are people allowed to chat with you like
Yeah.
we're chatting now, or is it more
Yeah.
typing? And so they can
Oh,
ask
no,
you
no,
questions.
no. I get to talk, they get to type.
That's what I thought. It could get crazy if there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
there's
get
a
to
lot of that,
talk, they
right?
get to type.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said there's a lot of back and forth. I'm assuming that as people want to learn, they have a lot of questions about, hey, why did you do this? You know what? I remember back, we were on the floor trading back then, but our new clerks and people who are learning, that's all they did was ask questions. That's how you learn, right?
Right.
Until you have to go out and take the training wheels off and they kick you and you fall a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's an important point, is that
Yeah.
you're there for them.
We talk about that all day long.
Mhm.
Somebody might, in fact, I bought some Intel a little earlier today, and somebody asked, Rick, what is it you like about Intel?
Mhm.
And I went in and explained what I like about Intel.
Okay.
Um, so we always get those questions, and that's what we want. I mean, we're about education. That's what we want to do, is educate people
Got
in
it.
the trading room.
Got it. Okay,
And
here's a question for you. You ready?
yeah,
So you mentioned earlier in the show that you were originally a stock trader, right? So you did all this
yes,
with trading stock, and now I think you said you are 100% options. And
yes.
I think I know the little bit of the backstory here because I remember you and I talking about it a while back. But can you explain to the folks why did you switch? Is there some reason? Was there more leverage involved? Did you learn something that was eye opening with options? And I'm going to ask you another question about options after you tell us that answer. So go ahead. Any reason? What made you switch?
Yeah. Um, most say you were, let's be ridiculous here, okay? I'm going to say ridiculous because I could never, not ever could I ever trade Amazon, not ever. Because of the options account, I could actually place a trade with Amazon
Mhm,
because you're not having to buy, the cost going is not nearly as much.
mhm,
If you buy Amazon with stock, you would have to spend that much of your account. Using options, I find that I only have to use that much of my account
mhm.
because I mean just the price alone.
Right.
So what happens is I actually have less invested per position. In my 34 years of trading,
Mhm.
I've never had less invested at one time than I do now, and I make way more money than I ever did.
Yeah. That's a
It,
good.
it, and another thing too is I get asked all the time about the options, and the option side is it's no trick. It's one and done. In other words, I can explain exactly what I do. It's one and done. That's it.
Mhm.
Um, I use options to leverage my money. That's the only thing.
Got it.
My stop. Let's go back to DKNG here.
Mhm,
My stop is based on the chart,
mhm,
not the option.
mhm,
My everything I do is on the chart.
mhm.
Options are strictly to leverage my money.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's an important point, right? Going back to the Amazon because it's emphatic. Amazon's
Hmm.
$3,200, let's call it, and change wherever it was.
Yeah,
One share is $3,200. Now there might be some margin in there. I get it. Let's just pretend we're not margining. It's $3,200. That's
right.
one share. 10
Yeah,
shares, 32,000, et cetera, et cetera. You can get, so people really need to understand that you get monster amount of ability with options, number one. And number two, when both sides, your percent return is dramatic with options
it's
as well.
huge.
It's huge.
Yeah,
Right.
I made I made a very good living trading options, just stock, and I'm not trading options. I made a good living just trading stock.
Mhm.
Um, but never was because I'm this kind of a trader, again, relatively short term, um, I would never get 30-40% returns.
Mhm.
um, Today I closed Chewy for 40%, Piton for 29%, and GRWG for 27% with the options, and never would I get those kind of returns. Oh, I could get 10, 12, 15% returns,
Right.
but never those kind of returns.
Sure.
And it's just because the option it explodes.
Yep.
Now, there's a downside to that, is they can also explode to the downside. So
Mhm.
this is where you've got to pay attention to your charts, and you've got to obey your stops. If you don't, you're just not going to hang around.
So the when it goes against you, the doubling up strategy is no good, right? Get out.
Not a good idea. No, no, that is not a good idea.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
I've tried that one once in a while.
I've tried that too.
Yeah, it doesn't work
In
well.
fact, I've tried that once, twice.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out so well.
That's right. Now, are you playing Amazon? Do you want to get you? Let's
No,
look at the time. So we got
no.
room for one more. You want to pick another favorite and let's go through it and then take a few questions.
Well, let's take a look. Let me try to find something here. What does fold look like? Let's take fold here. See, fold is
Okay.
coming up on my alert. Fold. So
What's
let
that
me do
alert, by the
this.
way, Rick? Well, how does it
Um,
how does it come up there? Is it what
it's
causes it to come up?
this is actually another company. It's live trading alerts,
Okay.
and I use this. They have a 14-day trial. If anyone wants, I
Okay.
don't have the link handy.
Okay.
I probably should have had. Um,
Okay. And they
but
give you alerts based on volume and price action, or?
whatever you put in it, you can create
Yep.
what you want.
Got it.
So this right here is my favorite chart pattern, and that's the 3/8 trap is what this is.
Okay. Dare I
And
ask, but go ahead. 3/8 trap.
okay, here, let me do that real quick. The 3/8 trap, it's using the T line is
Okay.
what it's using. And I don't normally keep the 3 exponential up here because it just makes the chart too busy. I don't need it. But right here, this is a 3/8 trap. So let's take a look at this chart. Here we've broken out, right here. We've broken out, we've pulled back and tested, and we're in a 3/8 trap.
Okay. That's
I'm
right.
going to look at a weekly chart just
Okay.
to make sure there's no big overhead resistance. And it looks like we're breaking out to new highs, right?
Yep.
So I'm interested in buying this. So what
Okay.
I'm going to do is come over here, fold.
Right. So while you're
Uh,
doing this, I'm going to ask you, I don't know if it's an obvious question, but I'm going to ask you an obvious question. You're going to pick an option, I'm assuming,
mhm.
and you're picking an expiration in time. And is there a method to your madness? Do you pick a certain
Yes.
term? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's go through that.
What I want to do is I want to go 50 days plus.
Okay.
And I want open interest. And so
Got it.
far in this particular chart, I have not found good open interest. I want at least, well, there it is right there,
Bingo, right there.
right there. And I want around 70 delta.
Okay.
And 73 is perfectly fine. 65, 75, I'm good. Yes.
Right.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. And then it comes up here and it fills in the ticket. So let me
Right.
bring this down.
Okay.
I'm going to bring that. I'm just going to put this right here. So it fills in the ticket.
Yep.
And here, we'll just buy a couple of contracts. We'll look at it.
Yep.
And I've got preview on so I can check it out.
Right.
I'm going to spend $1,600.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and place the order. So I just placed the order for this.
Yep. So you're
and-
trying to buy this at $8, midpoint of the market at the time, right?
Right.
Because you like the action in this. We're getting long a call. That's great for upward movement. Our risk is the $8 that we put in this, or that 1,600. You did 2 contracts, right?
Right.
And if this thing goes, up a few bucks, that's a beauty, right?
Well, here's what'll happen is when it starts to move up, remember what my goal is now, okay? I'm doubling my $20,000. My goal in the next 12 months is to turn $20,000 into $40,000.
Got it.
All I've got to do is net $85 a day. That's my goal.
Yep.
Net, that's important, net.
Mhm.
So as it starts moving up, when I get to my goal or more, then I start considering taking profits. Now, I do I do take into account what the candlestick's looking like. I take into account what the
Sure.
market is doing, things like that. So I may close one contract here. I may keep the other contract and close it up here.
But the stop is following. So it's not necessarily a
Right, so
trailing stop, but you're
right.
moving the stop.
Right. So let's put
Yep.
the stop on. And this is what I do. This is part of my routine. I paint it red. Red means danger, stop, something like that.
Makes sense.
And I'm going to put the stop right here at 23. I always round either up or down.
Sure.
So I would set my stop at 23.35.
Got it.
I want to give myself some room.
Yep.
So 23.35 is where I'm going to set my stop. If you want to put the buy box up there, that's what I would do right there. So we're going to look at profits as we start moving up. And that's the exact routine that I do every single time.
Okay, good. Summarize for a quick 70 delta-ish, give or take.
Ish,
right?
yeah.
Part of the reason for that, let me guess, a little bit deeper in the money, not as much time premium typically, right? It's going to behave more like stock. Clearly the 100 delta option would do that. The best but 100 delta options are wider and harder to get in, and they don't have what you alluded to, and which is very important, is that liquidity or open interest. Right. So that's
the open interest is something I'm definitely looking for.
Yep.
And
that's a good point. Yep. There's
Yeah, you've got to
activity
have
there.
that.
Yep.
So 50 days plus, and
50
I'm
days.
willing to go, oh, and here I get this asked all the time. If I went so far out, would I why would I sell it so soon? Because my I'm not an investor. I'm a trader.
Right. Mhm.
I'm just not an investor.
Got it.
So as the price moves up, I'm going to take my profits off.
Mhm.
And if I have to, I could wait 211 days
Mhm.
if
Got
I
it.
had to.
Got it. Okay, that's a good point. So, what do you think? A question from the viewer: what do you think your average holding period is for any one position? Is it? Do you have a ballpark? Is it a week? Is it any
I would
thoughts?
say 5 days. I say
5 days?
let's say 4 to 7 days to be
Okay,
fair. I think somewhere in there.
got
four
it.
to 7 days. Yeah.
4 to 7 days. Okay.
Yeah.
And then typically, as an adjunct to that question, how many different positions do you think you have on at any one time? Is it 7 positions?
Um,
I know it's a function of how much money you have. I get that, but
right. It's also a function of what the market is doing. Let me move this out of the way here. So, um, if the market was getting choppy and I was concerned,
Mhm.
um, say say we were doing this with the SPY today.
Mhm.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't have bought what I just bought. I mean, what if this was doing like this?
Mhm.
Then I would be starting to get out of positions because that is looking a little dangerous.
Okay.
And currently, I have 9 positions on at this moment.
Okay.
Generally, maybe 12 at the most, but I
Yeah.
don't usually hang around in 12 too many.
Okay.
So I would say
Yeah.
seven to 10 is kind
Okay.
of normal.
Um, okay. Good point. So let me make sure I understand this and just rephrase. So did you choose spiders as a proxy for the market? So if the market looks nasty, right? You're
Mhm.
thinking that, ooh, I got these 12 positions on. I might want to start bailing water a little bit.
Yeah,
Potentially, and you're still
yeah,
looking at price action, but you're looking at price action relative to, something that's a macro sort of,
right. I
product.
use the spiders as my
Yep.
what's the market doing.
Got it.
Another chart that I pay an awful lot of attention to is FNGU, and that's big tech. That's the FANG
Yeah.
ETF. I pay a lot of attention to that.
Okay.
A lot of attention.
Okay. So there
But
could be a warning
between
bell with these
yeah,
bigger
yeah, we've got
indices.
a warning sign up here right now of a pullback.
Oh, is that right?
I think so.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. And here I'm gonna bring down. I don't know if I can do this. I don't. There we go. See, I'm going to move this. So I mean, this is like I'm all about being very upfront with what I've
Yep.
got. I mean, we
Mhm.
post our brokerage statement on the website for everybody to see.
Okay.
So here I'm in Apple, Blink, DraftKings, FSLY, HAL, Intel, PIN, and PINs.
Yep.
So I'm feeling a little nervous about this.
Mhm.
So honestly, I'm probably going to take off some profits, such as PIN,
Yep.
PEN.
Right.
I might take that off today.
Got
Remember,
it.
my goal was $85. One goal was $85. That's one day. I'm going to take $328 off the table before the close today. So I've just met 4 goals,
Yeah. I got it.
right?
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
so I'll be closing some things out, lightening up. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
I got it. Good. 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 That is interesting. I like that.
yeah. I see a doji up here. We've been up one day. I'm not going to count this candle. One day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, plus a gap. I always count a gap as a day. So there's 5 days, a
Okay.
gap 6 days, a gap 7 days. We're up 7 days now with a doji up here. Oh yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, little
Got it.
just a correction,
Yep.
nothing bearish, just a pullback.
Yeah. Not a panic yet, but you want to lighten up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good. Good stuff. Let's do a couple questions. The T, what do we call this? The T line? Yeah. I guess the question is there anything you can give in terms of what that actually means? I think we didn't get that all fully.
Yeah, the
What
T
does that
line.
mean? How's it
Yeah,
calculated or anything like that? What's that?
yeah. First of all, the T line. There's nothing special. It's simply the 8 exponential moving average,
Okay.
and I came up with that just after months and months of
Mm-hmm.
looking at charts and no trading because I was on the verge of having to quit. Uh, and being one of those traders that says, "Oh, trading's a scam," only because I couldn't make money in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a few months off and I put every indicator under the sun on the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I used a lot of indicators,
Mm-hmm.
and so I started looking at charts. And as I saw what the chart was doing, I looked at an indicator and it made no sense to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would eliminate that indicator. Well, one of the things that stuck was the 8 exponential moving average.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is when price is in a bullish trend, the T line or the 8 tends to follow just underneath it.
Okay.
When the market is in a bearish trend, then the price tends to follow just underneath the 8 and exponential moving average.
Got it.
So that just made all the sense in the world to me. That was like, wow, an alarm just went off for me.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it called the T line? We were in a chat room, a different chat room, and we were trying to name it, and we were calling it the 8 exponential moving average. Well, I'll tell you what, in a full trading day, you say 8 exponential moving average 2,000 times, and you're tired by the end of the day. So, we started voting. What should we name it? A lot of the two that turned out to be the most popular, the two names was a trigger line, which made sense.
Sure.
It triggers when we come back over it or when we come back down and touch it, maybe
Mm-hmm.
with a bullish candlestick, that's a trigger. Or trend line, that was the other popular name for it.
Mm-hmm.
So trigger line, trend line,
Mm-hmm.
we just shortened it up to T line, and it's
Perfect.
been there ever since.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
Easy enough, right?
yeah.
Is now are we looking at this is a daily chart, right?
Yeah, I trade almost always off the daily chart.
Off the daily. Okay, so I was going to ask, do you ever go minute charts or 3 minutes?
Oh,
Nothing like that.
Lord no. And if I
Okay.
say that word, I'm gonna have to go brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No. A minute chart to me is that's like a cuss word. I mean, that's the worst cuss word you can
Okay.
say.
Okay. I mean, is that because your holding period is you're not necessarily day trading, right? Is that why we're not looking at?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I do not day trade.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not day trade at all. I never buy a stock with the intention of closing it the same day. Now, sometimes that might happen,
Mm-hmm.
and that might happen when this scenario happens. Let's say I bought this here
Sure.
in the morning, and by the end of the day, it was up here. Well, heck yeah, I'm going to sell that.
Right.
So, but I never intentionally start a trade as a day trade.
Okay. Good to know. Now, I know you said this, do you ever go into a spread situation, or is it always straight purchase of a call, purchase of a put? And then, by the way, do you ever go short? Does the price action
Yes.
look
Yes.
like nasty enough where you say, I'm going to buy a put?
Yes.
Okay.
I buy puts all the time
Okay.
when the market suggests that. So let's think about that. Here's what I will do. I focus on this SPY. So that's where I'm going to put my focus.
Mhm.
If we started to put in some bearish activity here,
Mhm.
a little bit of bearish activity. Now, I might not buy a put here, but once those dots turn red.
Mhm.
So let's just kind of make those red now.
Mhm.
And price would be coming down here. That's the only way for those to get red, if price is below them.
Mhm.
So if I saw price below those, then I would consider putting a put on. In fact,
Okay.
I'm pretty confident I would.
Got it.
But I'm not going to put a put on as long as price continues to move up. And it's not just the SPY. I'm not going to buy anything short
Mhm.
as long as the SPY is trending up.
Got it. And do you ever look at, is there any beta weighting to that statement at all that you
No,
look at? No, just spider's
if
green, Rick's not getting
don't
short.
short.
Okay,
Yeah, if the
good.
spiders are green, don't short. And like right here, that's an ugly candle.
Mhm,
And here we have a failed high. This being a high, we come
mhm.
back, we make a failed high, we close down. I'm still not short. Now I'm as nervous can get, yes, but I'm not short. If it would have crossed below the green line, the green dots, and turned them red,
Yep.
then I would have started looking for shorts down toward maybe the 34 EMA or the 50 simple, somewhere down in that neck of the woods.
Okay, great. So you're trading, you got a plan, very important.
Yeah.
I think it's a point that we can't emphasize enough. Your plan is built on price action, right?
Yes.
You're using options to affect the best possible return with the most amount of leverage based on that price action, which to me makes a ton of sense. Uh,
Yes, sir.
I love the
You
plan.
said that, but you just said that better than I've been trying to
Uh,
say it for the last 3 years.
I mean, it just makes sense. And when you say, I think you've told me this before, you say I have a simple trading strategy, and it doesn't mean it's not smart. It's actually really smart, but it's simple to understand and to embrace and to learn, right? And that's to
Yes.
me, trading doesn't have to be complicated. It has to be profitable. And
Yeah.
however you make your profits, let's do it, right?
Here's my trading in a nutshell.
Mhm,
I want a trend. I want price to rally up. I want it to pull back, and I simply want a buy signal.
mhm,
And then the process starts over. It rallies up,
mhm.
it pulls back. I want a buy signal,
Right,
just like that.
right.
And I sell the swings. I sell into
Yep,
strength, sell into the swing.
got it. And making your $85 or whatever the number is for your particular account,
Yeah,
right? Keeping that in
yeah.
mind. Good.
Yeah, I just switched to BLNK because I saw it was Blink. Yeah, BLNK. Um, we're up 26.25% right now.
Mhm,
Uh, $216 is what it is. So that represents what, 2.5 goals.
mhm.
So this is how I'm able to double or even more the road to wealth account by just taking just a simple chart,
Mhm.
keeping it very basic, and then um, selling into strength, not some trick way, whether, whatever mechanism somebody might use to get up there.
Yeah,
Well, this is going to $50. Well, good for you.
yeah,
It's not for me.
right.
Uh, I'm not after that kind of a swing.
Got it.
But I really want to remind everybody here too that this is not something you can, somebody can't watch your recording here and say, well, hey, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to make all this money. Nah, that's not how it's going to work.
Mhm.
There's an education process with trading, and I cannot stress that enough. In fact, I see a lot of people, they come on board with us, and I can see they're having troubles. I mean, they share
Right.
their issues, and I have a suggestion for them, and the suggestion is stop trading.
Mhm.
I don't mean stop learning. What I mean is stop wasting your money. Don't buy anything. Why don't you paper trade? Or my favorite way is to go get a Monopoly game, take the money out of it, and trade with that money. At
There you
least
go.
you've got something tangible.
Right.
Um, but learn how to trade
Mhm.
before you spend your money.
Right.
I think most people, especially new traders, they scrape up $1,000, $5,000, 10, something like that, and they hit the floor running trading, and all they do is spend their money, and then they can't do it again. They've lost it all.
Yeah. No, it's a
So
good point.
don't run out thinking you're going to make your money right away. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. All right, Rick. Well, look at it. I think we're at the timer here. So what a great
All
show.
right.
I really appreciate you coming on. How can the folks get a hold of you? I think Andre put a couple things in the chat. So it's hitruncandlesticks.com. Is that right?
Yeah, hitruncandlesticks.com. I think Andre might have put a link in there for a 7-day trial. It's
Okay.
completely free.
Okay.
And if you do take the 7-day trial, make sure you get with us so you can get the app, and you will be able to see all the trades we take, all the adjustments we
Mhm.
take. And that is terrific education.
Perfect.
And they get alerted right to your phone, just like just
Yep.
boom, right now.
And it comes. Good. Okay. All right, great. So they're putting that in the chat. Folks, look for this on our YouTube channel, Options Brew TV. We will have it posted there and you can refer to this and walk through it as slow as you'd like to learn. So
All right.
Rick, thanks, man. It was awesome. I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, Lex.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you so
Happy
much.
holidays, everyone.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye.